Welcome to the Take Your Power Back Show with Peak Performance Breakthrough Coach Kim Yeater. Today's empowering program will encourage you to step into your power, to take action in your leadership, and allow your voice to be heard. Listen in today as we speak to other freedom-loving Americans that are making a positive impact in the world by standing in truth amid adversity. Learn how to take your power back in your freedom, in your personal and professional life, in technology and creativity, and in your faith. Be inspired. Be encouraged. Be transformed. Together, let's take your power back with our host, Peak Performance Breakthrough Coach, Kim Yeater.
Well, hello. Welcome to the Take Your Power Back Show. I'm your host, Peak Performance Master Coach, Kim Yeater. Guys, I am so excited about today. We are diving into a topic that will shake you to your core and empower you to see the truth. We're talking about the Great Maui Land Grab. That's right. We heard it echoed from the mountaintops. There was a time that it was being talked about over and over, and people were seeing irregularities everywhere. These devastating fires broke down communities, and I'm telling you, you've got to ask yourself, for what purpose? And is your home next? Are these events connected to the LA Malibu fires and the catastrophic dam failures in North Carolina that wiped out preppers and all of those who were preparing for what's to come? Is there a deeper agenda at play, a deep state conspiracy targeting our freedom and our land? So joining us today is the fearless Michelle Melendez, a freedom fighter since 2020, a fitness wellness expert since 1996, and the award-winning author of End Dieting Hell. And what we're talking about today, the Great Maui Land Grab. What caused the Maui fire, and is your home next? Now, a little bit about Michelle. Michelle was a finalist in the America Book Fest for True Crime. She's been featured on the Stu Peters Show, Outspoken with Dr. Naomi Wolf, Caravan to Midnight, and more. She's here to connect the dots and expose the truth. So buckle up, patriots. This is going to be a powerful hour. Let's together take our power back. Michelle Melendez, let's get you into the room right now with the Take Your Power Back show. Hey, sister, welcome.
Hey, aloha, everyone, and mahalo so much, Kim, for having me on your show. This is a really important story to keep alive, so I really appreciate the opportunity.
Well, it's an absolute honor. I love the fact that we got to kind of start this out with prayer in the back room because, we know that no matter what we go through, God is in control, and in the end, we win. But what do we do in the midst of the storm? Those are kind of some of the things we're going to talk about today. So, Michelle, your book, The Great Maui Land Grab, has sent shockwaves through the truth movement. Let's start with your journey. How did you go from fitness, a wellness expert, to exposing what you call a land grab in Maui?
Well, what happened was it first started with COVID. So I was a fitness trainer doing my fitness stuff. And then when COVID went down, I know as a fitness trainer, a mask is to try to stop a virus with the mask is like a chain link fence against a mosquito. The hand sanitizer is actually poison for your gut. So I started looking deeper, started speaking out. We protested it every single week for 6 months. We took the Maui police chief to the police commissioner for not letting us shop without a mask. I mean, he actually retired 2 months later after that. And then when the fire happened, a client told me, because I was still training people, and a client told me, she said, "Are you okay with the fires?" I'm like, "What fires?" And then I started looking into it. And I paused a little bit because out of respect for those who had transitioned on, because when I was doing COVID, everybody thought I was killing their grandmother. But so I paused until the Hawaii governor went to the United Nations and told everyone that it was because of climate change. That's that one. Why is a governor going to the United Nations to speak at all? And then two, climate change, like I'd love to tell you guys, there's been almost 2,000 credentialed scientists from around the world. You can go to World Climate Declaration, just put World Climate Declaration, your URL. You will find almost 2,000 credentialed scientists from around the world have signed a declaration saying there's no climate emergency. There are weather warfare is happening. But that's what got me started.
Wow. I'll tell you what, for those of us that have eyes to see, this is becoming more and more apparent that this is weather warfare. So let's now talk about in this land grab. You break down in your book, you're outlining the shocking details about 2023 fires. What are some of the most compelling pieces of evidence that suggest that this wasn't just a natural disaster?
The people, there's pictures in the book, graphic, just FYI, of bodies that didn't burn from the outside in. The bodies. There's one picture in particular that we got, and Michael Jaco, former Navy SEAL, was like, he's been waiting for somebody to bring about these pictures, because this body is laying on the ground. His right arm is floating in the air. Part of his body is like a complete line down almost the middle of his body, more on the right side, charred, black, recognizable. His arm is still there, floating off the ground. We have pictures of a dog running in the middle of the road. First of all, animals when a disaster happens, they hide. They're going to be under a bed, under a car. They're not going to be out in the street. This dog was literally running. All of a sudden, he's charred. His ears are still there. His nose, his complete body, his paw pads. There's a first responder, and all the first responders had to sign a non-disclosure. What's that about? So first responders signed a non-disclosure. This first responder had a video of a cat walking and still balanced. The cat is standing straight up, balanced, and completely black, charred, but his ears are there, his nose, the tail. In a regular fire, you're going to burn from the outside in. We had trees that didn't burn. We had the fire go against the wind. Go over a construction site with exposed beams, melt the windows in every single car in the parking lot next to it, dissolve the engine blocks, but all the trees above all the cars are still there. The leaves are dried, but they're not burned. And I asked an arborist, I started interviewing experts. The book started because I started interviewing experts, and I had so much information that I was like, I have to write this book to get it to people, and also to document everything, because this was murder of Americans. This was not just about Maui. This was about all of us. And I asked the arborist, I said, how do things not burn? How does a tree not burn? And he said, because the chemistry of the fire doesn't recognize the organic material. This is Robert Bram, 48-year arborist at the time, now 50-year arborist. He said, and now he calls himself a forensic arborist because he's been to over sites and seen just anomalies that are impossible in a regular fire. So those are just a few things. And we can also talk about the blue things that didn't burn and why.
Well, it's funny. I was just talking to my husband about that this morning. I'm like, Rick, didn't you hear about all the blue things that didn't burn? I mean, from the roof of Oprah Winfrey's house. I mean, you've got people throughout the world now painting their roofs blue, or laying down blue tarp, garbage cans, cars that didn't burn, but everything around it. So can you help me to understand that?
Yeah,
how does that happen?
Yeah, there's a patent for a microwave laser generated laser beam that is made out of a titanium sapphire crystal. Sapphire is blue. So the frequency and the wavelength of anything that's blue doesn't absorb the energy of the laser. It repels it. So it doesn't pull on, bring about the fire. So we had, thanks to Eric West of Hawaii Real Estate on Maui, thank you God for him. He went in the next day. He found 6 blue t-shirts, cotton t-shirts in the white ash. And let me tell everybody, when you have a fire, in a house fire, it should be black soot. And it's not going to destroy the refrigerator and the toilet and the stove. It's not going to turn everything to white ash. White ash means really, really hot. But he literally pulled these cotton t-shirts out of the white ash, shook off the white ash, no holes, no singe marks. Did that with a blue paper ticket for an aquarium or a ride, some type of ride. Blue paper ticket, pulls it out of the white ash, completely intact. Then a friend of mine, her stove, she was a survivor. She went back to her house. She found her stove completely gone, like the charred on the outside, just destroyed on the outside. The glass was melted. Glass to melt is higher than a regular wildfire, forest fire. They're calling these wildfires because the forest isn't burning. So, but she saw her stove, glass melted out, the metal racks warped, but inside, beautiful royal blue color, like shiny, like she just cleaned it. That picture you'll see only in the book. It's not throughout TikTok or anything like that.
Okay, and this is where we're going to find your book. This is really important for everybody. So I'm going to be dropping this as we go. You can find the book at greatmauilandgrab.com. Great Maui Land
Grab book. Great Maui Land Grab book.
Yes, yeah. Thank you. greatmauilandgrabbook.com. greatmauilandgrabbook.com. So guys, the great thing about this book is she has the photos. I mean, there are photos in here that you all need to see. So this is going to be, I'll tell you, this is meaty. And you know what I like about this? The font size. Love the font size. It makes it super easy to read and take in the information, as you go, which I absolutely love. Okay, so let's connect the dots here. So what I hear you saying is there are so many irregularities. This is not considered a normal fire, right? Yeah. And by the way, I was there weeks before that fire in Maui, swimming with the turtles, enjoying the road to Hana. I just enjoying our time there. It was pretty special. So when this occurred, we were actually quite shocked. And today I was thinking back, were there signs? What did I see? I saw a lot of people working on electrical wires. Those were things I saw. There was a lot of road things going on, electrical power things going on, when I'm looking back in hindsight. But what I'm hearing from you is you're saying this is not normal. There are blue things existing. Things do not burn from the inside out, but they burn from the outside in. And we see in these fires, trees burned from the inside out. And then you're mentioning this laser technology. Now, where can we, the regular people, laser technology, who is going to destroy our beautiful Hawaii? Like, why would they do something like this? What purpose? Can you help us to understand that a little bit more?
Absolutely. Well, first you can look up the Direct Energy Weapons Systems Acquisition Act of 2016. So the Department of Defense literally states this is an act through Congress. The Defense Department stated that they were worried that the direct energy weapons program would not come to fruition, even though they've spent over $6 billion since the 1960s. Wow. So you guys can just look this up, Direct Energy Weapons Acquisition Act. Put that in your URL. It's 2016. So Congress took over this program, and your tax dollars were paid to help to fund it, to finish it. So also these are patents. They're not trying to hide anything. You can put in laser generated patent and it'll come up there. The first, and I just want to just touch on the weather, because the first weather modification patent was in 1891. 1891. rain.
Oh.
Rain, you guys. If they wanted these fires out, if they wanted LA fires out, they would be out. And they actually used this technology in Vietnam to so that the Viet Cong wouldn't get the troops and the equipment that they need, and they flooded it. They wanted the monsoon season to continue, and the soldiers called it Operation Mud. So they've been having this weather technology for a very, very long time. They have earthquake technology. Isn't it interesting that Iran had a really big earthquake? Isn't it interesting about all the floods? This is a weather warfare. It is not about climate change. It is about weather warfare. They have a patent to control hurricanes and tornadoes. Bill Gates was called the Hurricane Tamer in 2009 by ABC because he's part of 12 other inventors that have their name on a patent to control hurricanes, you guys. So how in the world does a hurricane go over to North Carolina inland and stay a Category 4 hurricane? How is that possible? So that's because of weather warfare on us. And the reason is for Maui, Maui was set to be the first smart city, smart island in 2016.
Yes, it was.
Japanese stakeholders. All of these areas are set to be smart cities that are being under attack. And here's the thing with Lahaina. First, Lahaina used to be the heart of the Hawaiian Islands because it was the capital when King Kamehameha III ruled over the Hawaiian Islands. And it is actually a major hub as far as tourism goes to support the state. And also this place, it was it used to be flourishing with water and lots of tropical plants and stuff. They dried it out. They diverted the water to the hotels. So they literally had, it was completely a Kindle box is what it was for this fire. And also with Lahaina, you could not rebuild in Lahaina. You couldn't tear stuff down because it was historic. So they had to burn it down or I should say, and the governor suspended 22 laws prior to the fire. And the first one was the historic preservation law. So lots of questions around that.
Yeah. Have any of these people been held accountable?
No, I have sent in the book at the end in the addendums is the affidavit that I sent to the mayor. Many of us, we need more people. We need more though. That's the other thing that I'd like to talk about later is what we can do. And it's the affidavit process.
Yes. Well, let's go back to the 15-minute cities. Let's clarify because not everybody is privy to what that looks like and whose agenda that is. Why don't you break that down for us?
Okay. And these are chapters in the book because I have carbon, smart cities, climate change revealed in the book, as well as who owns America, why this is happening. It's all there. But the reason why or what's happening with the smart cities is who owns. So, okay, when you take it back and you follow the money and you go, okay, well, who's gonna gain from this? Renewable energy companies, electric companies, because they actually want zero emissions, which is part of the UN Agenda 21 or 2030 now. They want on the island all electric vehicles, and there's so many things wrong with that. For one, electric vehicles, you cannot just put them in a landfill because if the engine block cracks, then it'll spew toxic fumes. So I'm going to our county council members because on Big Island through our general plan, they're trying to do this too. And I'll talk about that in a moment. But you just follow the money. Who owns the renewable energy companies? Who owns the electric companies? But mostly BlackRock and Vanguard, which goes back to the elite bankers, they're the ones that own it all. So they want total control. They want basically to surveillance all of us because they're putting cameras everywhere. And that's pretty much why it's happening. It's about control and taking away freedoms and putting all of the infrastructure in the hands of the few.
Gosh, Michelle, it is not easy for people to hear this. It's not easy. None of this is easy. We've been bombarded since COVID with all of this new information, everything from the human trafficking, and then we began to see our country taken over, a national breach of security in our country. We're dealing with so much. There's so much coming at us right now, and we see protests happening all across the country. So why is this so important for us to be talking about this right now? I hear, they want to surveillance us. They're going to do what they're doing with China. China's the prep state, the prep country, right? And so, but why is it so important that you're shouting from the rooftops right now?
Because this is the last hurrah, you guys. This is the nail in the coffin. Like what's happening in Maui, the reason I called it a land grab is because, well, two different things. First, after the fire, they were trying to put through legislation. They had a map and they wanted to take the entire west coast of Maui. Lahaina's a little dot on the entire west coast of Maui, and take it out of the governing board of the Maui County governance and give it to a 9-person board, and to rebuild Lahaina. So to rebuild Lahaina, they were going to take the entire west coast of Maui out of the governing board to give it to a 9-person board. And also the permits, no businesses have been allowed to get a permit to rebuild their business in Lahaina. No homes on the water have been allowed to get a permit. And they put the Lahaina survivors into these tiny houses. One tiny house cost over $400,000 when they could have given that money to the Lahaina fire survivor to rebuild their entire house.
Yes.
So it's absolutely disgusting. And the reason why now we do have power, and it is about speaking up, and it's now or never, you guys. This is like, this is coming. So that's happening in Maui. The LA fire. This book also has 21 LA fire oddities, because this is the 4th edition of it. But I wanted to show you. So
LA fires, yeah.
But it's not only the attack on the people, it is coming through our general plans. So if you are someone who has not had your house attacked and burned, look at your general plan. Because our general plan on Big Island, we had a fire also that day, but it wasn't very big. But our general plan is literally, they're taking important ag land and turning it into natural land, preserved for nature. No farming, no building, no people. So they have taken most of the Big Island, turned it into conservation land. There was a mistake. And conservation land means the state owns it. They can do rules and regulations. And there was a mistake. A residential person who lives in a residential zoning area came in to the commission meeting and said, there was a mistake, and I just want to make sure that was fixed. And it was a mistake on changing residential to conservation by accident.
Interesting.
So look at your general plan, everybody, because that's coming that way. That's where it's coming from.
Wow, Michelle. Well, there is clearly a bigger agenda here. We're going to take a moment to thank our sponsors who make the Take Your Power Back show possible and who keep freedom alive. When we return, we will have a deeper dive conversation on the pattern we're beginning to see in today's show, the Great Maui Land Grab, what caused the Maui fire, and is your home next? I have a feeling we might even talk about smart meters, which I took off my home, just so you know. So Michelle, we're going to bring you back in just a moment, and let's take a moment to thank Mike Lindell from MyPillow.
Just like all of you, I had problems sleeping. I had tried every pillow out there and nothing worked. I'd flip-flop all night, use my arm for support, and fall asleep, or I'd wake up with a sore neck or maybe a headache. Well, quality sleep comes from keeping your neck straight at night. You have to fill in that space between your head and your bed. That's why I invented MyPillow. MyPillow's patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs, and it doesn't matter if you sleep on your back, stomach, side, or any combination of all three.
When I got MyPillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get Classic King My Pillows for only $19.98. Queen size just $18.98. Standard Classic My Pillows only $14.98. That's right, only $14.98. Plus all orders $75 or more ship absolutely free.
All right. We love Mike Lindell. Mike Lindell has stood for our freedom and our voice being heard with election integrity. I utilize the sheets, I utilize the pillow, and I utilize the complete mattress sleep system. How can I be present with you today? Because I got a great night's sleep. So thank you, Mike Lindell. So go to mypillow.com/Kim. That's mypillow.com/Kim. You guys deserve a great night's sleep because we have a battle that we're taking on together. Now, let's talk a little bit more about that battle. Utilizing our resources. What are they doing with our food? We know exactly what they're doing with our food. They are poisoning our food. They're giving us synthetic food, and they want us to, they're injecting cattle with Zeranol. Do you know Zeranol is toxic and is not allowed in many countries, but it's allowed here in the United States? So check it out. We like to call this our patriotvbeef.com resource. This resource is a game changer. What if you could access never ever hormone or antibiotic black label beef? Are you craving real food that doesn't have toxins and poison in it? Listen, I'll tell you, I had ribeye for dinner last night. It is the best beef I've ever eaten. Blows away the prices of all the other boxed companies and your Costco. So go get yours today, delivered to your door. And you can access that at patriotvbeef.com. That's patriotvbeef.com. Go get your never ever hormone or antibiotic black label beef. And I got to tell you, I've had beef at Mar-a-Lago, and I love you, President Trump. Love the beef. But this is the best beef I've ever eaten. So where's the beef? Go get it today. patriotvbeef.com. All right. Last but not least, we have a very special sponsor that I always feel just honored to share. It's patriotsbuyingamerican.com. Now, why is that so important? If you've been listening to us today on our show, we're talking about taking our power back. How can we do that in the midst of these crazy things happening in our world? Let's follow the money. Let's follow BlackRock and Vanguard. The reality is, if we continue to feed the big box retailers, the Procter & Gamble, the Colgate and Palmolive, the Johnson & Johnson, the Unilever, the Coca-Cola, we're continuing to feed BlackRock and Vanguard, not to mention the poisons that are in those products: parabens, alcohol, sulfates, triclosan, quaternary disinfectants. Guys, those are heavy metals. Those make you diseased. And what do diseased people do? They end up in the pharmaceutical world, the cycle to hell. Let's break the pattern. Let's take our power back today by making the switch to what USA Today just named America's best brand. That's patriotsbuyingamerican.com. Patriotsbuyingamerican.com. Make the switch to over 450 products that are better, safer, less expensive than the stores, and they share your values. 40 years in business. I've been shopping with them for 20 years, and our patriots across the country are taking their power back, putting money back in their pockets, taking the money away from BlackRock, Vanguard, the Wally family, and Jeff Bezos at Amazon, putting it back in the hands of patriots, cattle ranchers, farmers, and amazing freedom lovers just like you. That's patriotsbuyingamerican.com. All right, guys, without further ado, we are going to take you back into the Take Your Power Back show today. And what a show we have for you today, guys. So first of all, for those of you just joining us, welcome back. I'm your host, Kim Yeater, and our show today is the Great Maui Land Grab. What caused the Maui fire And is your home next? Are you vulnerable? We have the amazing Michelle Melendez on today. Her book is The Great Maui Land Grab. We're going to give you all the information you need today to access this with the details on what you can do to be prepared and so that you know what to look for. With that being said, we're going to bring in the expert. That's Michelle Melendez. Michelle, welcome back to the Take Your Power Back show.
Mahalo so much for having me again. And Kim, I want to just let your listeners know that if they put Kim in the coupon code in at greatmauilandgrabbook.com, they get 10% off. So just use
Come on, guys. I'm going to pull that up for you right now. Wow, wow, wow. And so anytime we have a sponsor, Michelle, like you, that comes on, we can support you because you're just our freedom-loving patriot, right? And when we do commercials, the reality is it goes to support the show. It goes to keep freedom alive. And we've seen patriots over the past 5 years, Michelle, using their own money to fund freedom. And so that people could take their power back and know the truth. So we love the fact that you're also giving back to the Take Your Power Back show. So Michelle, thank you so much, guys. Go get your book today. Great Maui Land Grab book.com. That's Great Maui Land try to say that fast. Great Maui Land Grab book.com. All right, Michelle, we're going to move on to our next question for you today. And we've been talking directly, I just mentioned the smart meter. Okay. So I'm actually going to start there before we broke into commercial. I started paying attention to these things that were going on, Michelle, and I was listening to your shows. I was listening to real news about what was happening in Maui. And we knew that these irregularities of things burning from the inside out, the things that were blue, not burning. And then they weren't the officials were not giving people back their land where they could go gut it, clean it up, and build again. Something was so wrong. And then we began to see the fires in Malibu. Then we began to see the floods in North Carolina. And how interesting that the people that were impacted most were the preppers, and they were taken out. So you raised alarms about the Maui fire being part of a long pattern. There are posts all over X and sources that have noted similarities between the Maui fires and the recent LA Malibu fires. What parallels do you see, and are there common players involved?
Yes, absolutely. Well, first you look at the weather. So both LA and Maui had a lot of rain about 6 months prior. And what happens with a lot of rain is it allows the vegetation to grow, more vegetation. Then they had a drought, both of them. Also, South Myrtle Beach, same thing, because they also had a fire as well. So you're looking at the weather, you're looking at what's happening with that. Just so you know, around the weather too, the day before the Maui fire happened, there were these linear clouds that went to the Hawaiian Islands, but didn't go past them. On a satellite image, you see this linear white clouds coming to the islands, but clear sky afterwards. Maui sits right in the middle of Oahu and the Big Island, and both Oahu and Big Island have HAARP domes. HAARP is it is a weather modification apparatus which heats up the ionosphere and can change the weather, and that's exactly what happened on that day. Also in Maui, the day before, there was a white cloud, a white mist that went around the whole entire island. And even this woman was like, what is this white cloud thing around the whole island? They have a patent for combustible clouds. They actually have patents for combustible clouds. It's absolutely.
Are you kidding me?
It's so disgusting. So many survivors said there were fireballs flying through the air, fireballs, and explosions everywhere. So, but yes, there is just the weather, the temperature. There was actually Maui Community Investigates. You can go to MauiCommunityInvestigates.com. They are a group of people on Maui still looking through the fire, still trying to get a third-party investigation. But they actually did some research and found that both Maui and Lahaina, the temperatures were actually higher years prior. So it's not like the temperature was like all of a sudden spiked in that area. It was actually many, many years prior, the hottest temperatures in those two areas. So they're looking at that too. But they did find that, again, major rain and then drought that happened. And again, both of them are set to be smart cities, as well as Myrtle Beach, as well as North Carolina.
Wow. 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 So this is clearly a deep state agenda, right?
Absolutely.
And I know that term that gets thrown out a lot, but that is what we're beginning to see. So let me ask you, in your research in the Great Maui Land Grab, okay, have you found out who is behind all of this? And I think we got a sense in the beginning of the end game of these 15-minute cities, but give us a lowdown again. Who's behind it? And let's talk a little bit more about this surveillance.
Yeah, well, this is all, I cannot say exactly who, because we will never know really who runs this country, you guys. And I just have to say, this country has been taken over since after the Civil War. And this is what people don't understand. The Civil War, the North and South side were totally bankrupt because they were getting loans and funding the war. We had no money as a government. The government literally collateralized the United States of America, gave it to the elite bankers. The bankers are the ones that turned the United States into a corporation. Every single state is two states. It's a state and then it's a state corporation. So Hawaii State Corporation, California State Corporation, they're all corporatized. So this is basically who runs the government, are the elite banker fascist corporations. So that's one thing that we have to realize, that we need to take back the United States of America. Why do people always say the US? US? No, it's USA, America, but it's US corporation. They actually corporatize all of it. So I do wanted to say that, to let people know. But these people really behind the scenes, we will never really know their names. They are the masters of the puppets. Our Governor Green, 100% puppet. When he went into the Lahaina burn zone, you guys, in scrubs. He's a doctor. He went into the Lahaina burn zone in scrubs with a stethoscope around his neck. And I'm like, is he going to do surgery?
Total photo op. Oh my gosh.
Absolutely. Then he also said, and I just want to say, I want to bring up the death count because both this is in Paradise, LA, all of it, even North Carolina, the death count, they are lying to us through their teeth around how many people have died. For Maui, we have my friend Bodhi on Oahu, who is just amazing researcher. He actually, thank God, screenshot a chart that showed 3,001 children were enrolled in the Lahaina Luna School District prior to the fire. After the fire, there were 548 that re-enrolled into the Lahaina Luna School District, 438 enrolled in a different school, and 2,025 children did not re-enroll anywhere. Then Paul Preston, who's the host of Agenda 21,
Paul.
He used to be a superintendent, a school superintendent. I didn't know that. He called the Hawaii Education Department and asked if any schools were requesting the records of these 2,025 children that did not re-enroll in the Lahaina Luna School District. And the Hawaii Education Department said no. So he called the second 2 weeks after the fire, then 3 weeks after the fire, and same thing. No school requested any education academic records for 2,025 children. So where are they? And then the last thing I want to share and give it back to you is the Hawaii governor was asked by a reporter, what about the children? Because the children were let out of school that day.
That was what I was going to ask you. We remember that. So most of us, the public, all we remember is these kids were let out of school that day, but their parents had to work. So most of them were home. So what the heck ever happened with the kids? And I find it kind of ironic, Michelle, that here we are, the year 2025, and there were 25 children missing.
You know what? That's the first time I thought about that I've heard that. And that's so true, Kim, because they do love their numbers.
They certainly do. You're dealing with demonic entities. Yes. You're dealing with Illuminati, Luciferian. This is a bigger agenda when you peel the layers back, guys.
Yeah.
They are all puppets of Satan, because Satan's goal is to destroy God's kingdom before it even begins. We already know who is going to win this. That's why we are standing in the gap today. Go on, Michelle.
Yes, absolutely. So this reporter asked him, what about the children? And the Hawaii governor said, I've already prepped my team that we are more than likely going to find a lot of children. They found three. I don't think so. And one of them was a woman who, the child was recognizable. Her house completely gone. The child was, this is so sad. And the only blessing, I think, is that I think it went really fast. I think whatever happened quickly. And I think that's a blessing. But this child was holding their dog and completely recognizable. And the woman says, I think God left him that way so I would remember him. Okay, bodies are not recognizable in a regular fire. They are ash or bones or both. And the other thing I want to say, you guys, is this is so corrupt. They had newbies going through the fire zone, collecting, recovering bodies, new people, recruits that had no experience collecting bodies, and they were putting bodies in the same bag. They're putting bodies in the same bag. Mishandling human remains is actually in the Maui Police Department's report. Their own report states that they did this. And then the death count goes from 115, drops to 97. And the governor says, oh, it's because we were accidentally counting bodies twice. Well, they were putting bodies in the same bag.
Oh my gosh. And plus, when you think of the traditions, Hawaiian tradition, the honoring of the spirit, the honoring of the body, it is a desecration what they did.
Absolutely. 100%. These poor people, they not only did they lose their land and their homes, but their ohana, their family. They don't even, some of them don't know if they have the right family member, and some of them don't know if they have the complete family member. It's absolutely disgusting. The Maui police chief was taken to the police commission. This man's being protected. This man is the same man, Chief Pelletier, that was the acting commander and chief at the Mandalay Bay shooting in Las Vegas. And he is now, there was a law that had to be changed in order for him to be the Maui police chief. And it was changed, I believe, 3 to 6 months prior to him getting in. And it was that the police chief had to have lived on Maui for a year. They changed it to 30 days, and then he got in. So this man,
surprise.
Blocked roads for survivors to get out, denied it at first, and then admitted it because so many people were complaining about it. And, people had to go into the water. The other thing is they have 0 missing now at the very end of the fire, 0 missing. When so many people went into the water, and if Ellie Cochran, who's a state representative of Hawaii, of Lahaina, if she said, if you went into the water and you held on to anything, the wind was blowing so crazy that it would have been like a sail and you would have been flown out. So they have 0 missing, and people have gone into the water. It's impossible. It's absolutely wrong. And they're lying to us all.
Oh my gosh, deceit. Tell us about the corporate land purchases that have taken place. Because you said that these guys haven't been able to go back to their land and their property. Is that correct?
They can now. So at first, after the fire, media was not allowed in for 30 days. That's a violation of the First Amendment. Homeowners were not allowed in for 90 days. They put a 5-mile dust screen, 12-foot high dust screen around the entire perimeter of Lahaina. I asked Captain Matt, who's 33-year firefighter, retired captain, retired fire chief, if that was normal to put a dust screen around a whole perimeter, the 5-mile long dust screen. He said, Michelle, nothing about this fire is normal. And you could not stop. The FFA stopped any drones or planes flying over Lahaina. If they had nothing to hide, why would they do that? They didn't let drones. Then there were these huge SUV cars, and they had police officers in there. If you stopped to take a picture, they were on you. This one YouTube influencer stopped to take a picture, and he counted how long it would take these officers to get to him. 17 seconds. Took them 7. They're watching. They were watching. They closed off the entire Lahaina for over 15 months. You could not,
Mm,
unless you had a placard that said you owned property there. So what happened is there have been people that have bought, and obviously people have sold, because a lot of it is trauma with
right.
with no doubt, with no doubt about that. I don't know who the corporations who are buying property
Mm,
there, but I do know, again, the permitting is, they're not letting anybody rebuild on the ocean. No businesses have gotten a permit yet, and there's I think 2,200 homes and buildings gone, and just a small fraction of that has any permits. And only one house was built after a year. Only one.
One house was built after a year. So it is evident that there is a complete fallout and that locals are affected, right? So tell me, how do you feel like the locals in the community in maybe Malibu, as well as in Maui and North Carolina, are affected when it comes to being self-sufficient? Like here, you have these preppers who were like, man, we are good to go. We've got everything lined up if things get crazy. We have our safe place, in Hawaii. I mean, come on, they've got the land, they've got they just thought that they were safe.
Mhm. Yeah.
So go on.
Well, I just want to say, these people have been through so much trauma. I mean, first of all, their land was literally stolen. And I just want to let everybody know, Hawaii is not a state. It was never fully annexed as a state. The queen, at gunpoint, she abdicated her throne, but Hawaii was never completed as a state. So they have a lot of
Hmm.
trauma with that. And the Hawaiian people, they have this spirit that I love to death. It's aloha, it's kind, it's fun, but it's also, they don't like to rock the boat. They don't like to rock the boat, which is
Yeah.
challenging. So, my book has gotten some challenge, but also a lot of locals are grateful for it, because they know, like locals know, this was a complete lie of what the government's doing, and especially the death count. So many people know that that's just not true.
Wow, this is crazy. Here we are halfway in the show, and Michelle, you have given us truth bombs, and this is hard for us to hear. And I would say it's probably a little difficult for most to hear because right now we're getting fire hose, no pun intended, right now because there's so much information coming at us. So today we've uncovered the shocking anomalies in the Maui fires, from silenced warning systems to potential land grabs by powerful entities. Michelle, you've connected the dots to the Malibu fires, the North Carolina dam failures, this weather manipulation, raising questions about a possible deep state agenda targeting our homes, our communities, and our freedom. So, are these events coordinated to push us into the so called 15-minute cities? Or worse? You guys, I want you to stay with us for a second and a half where we'll dive deeper into who's behind all of this, how we can take our power back. This is truly brought to you today so that one, you have what you need to make powerful choices to truly take your power back. So don't go anywhere. We're going to take a moment to thank our sponsors again, and then we're bringing Michelle Melendez right back into the house. All right, guys, Mike Lindell. Now, we had a commercial a little while ago with Mike Lindell. So some of you that have just popped on right now, I want you to know how I get a great night's sleep. Now, people say to me all the time, is this real? Is Kim Yeater's energy real? Yeah. Number one, because I have the resources I need through Patriots Buying American to turn the lights on in my body and for my body to heal and build that strong immune system. And I have a great night's sleep. So I wake up refreshed. And there's a couple ways to do that. Step one, Mike Lindell, my
Just
pillow.
like all of you, I had problems sleeping. I had tried every pillow out there and nothing worked. I'd flip-flop all night, use my arm for support, and fall asleep, or I'd wake up with a sore neck or maybe a headache. Well, quality sleep comes from keeping your neck straight at night. You have to fill in that space between your head and your bed. That's why I invented My Pillow. My Pillow's patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs, and it doesn't matter if you sleep on your back, stomach, side, or any combination of all three.
When I got my pillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get Classic King My Pillows for only $19.98. Queen size just $18.98. Standard Classic My Pillows only $14.98. That's right, only $14.98. Plus all orders $75 or more ship absolutely free.
All right. I absolutely love that. Listen, we're in the battle right now to take this great country back. You need a good night's sleep and you need good nutrition to do that. So let's talk about patriotsbuyingamerican.com. So guys, we were talking about energy a few minutes ago, about how to turn the lights onto the body, how to stay healthy, right? So the sponsors that I bring you, I utilize these sponsors, patriotsbuyingamerican.com. Are you sick and tired of feeling sick and tired? Have you tried all the vitamins on the market, even some of our Patriot companies, and you find you still have the brain fog? You're finding that your gut is still jacked up. You're not digesting well. You've got the acid reflux. Or maybe now your doctor's telling you you've got high cholesterol or diabetes, or you're on the brink of type 2 diabetes, right? So guys, there's a way to stabilize your blood sugar. There's a way to give you your health back. Patriotsbuyingamerican.com is our resource. USA Today just named them America's best friend. They will direct you to the resource. So Peak Performance Pack, baby. Turn the lights onto your body. That's exactly what I do. Gut issues gone. I was buying time for disc replacement surgery 20 years ago. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you to this resource. No surgery, pain-free. Spartan races, sprint triathlons, mud runs. I've taken my power back. You can take your power back too. Go to patriotsbuyingamerican.com. My freedom-loving patriots, that's patriotsbuyingamerican.com. Go and get what you need to turn the lights onto your body. That's patriotsbuyingamerican.com. Last but not least today, that same resource at patriotsbuyingamerican.com have been cattle ranchers for years. That's right. They have a vertical integration cattle ranching farm throughout the country. Their manufacturing facility is in Kansas, and they have the best beef you are ever going to eat. And you can access that beef at patriotsbuyingamerican.com. I know there's a lot of choices. There's a lot of beef companies. Why can't you just go to your Albertsons and Vons, or maybe your beef guy down the road? Well, here's the deal. They're putting antibiotics in your beef. They're putting Zeranol in your beef, and not to mention mRNA is just around the corner, and maybe they've already done it. Not us at patriottvbeef.com. Go to our resource and you're going to access never ever hormone or antibiotic black label beef, absolutely delicious, delivered to your door. So go to patriotvbeef.com. That's patriotvbeef.com. Take your power back today. You might just look like that burly dude as well, because it looks like he's pretty much taking his power back. All right. With that being said, we are going to bring back our freedom-loving patriot, Michelle Melendez. Michelle, we are talking today about the Great Maui Land Grab. We have highlighted your book today. I'm going to pull that book up right now because I think everybody needs to get this book into their house. It's super easy to read. You can access the book, our freedom-loving patriots, at the Great Maui Land Grab book.com. This book, first of all, I love the font size. For somebody like me, this is great, but it also has a lot of pictures in it, things that you need. Proof. Proof is in the pudding, and you're going to get the proof right here in this book so that you can take your power back. Now, you've been sitting behind the scenes, Michelle, during these commercials, and your thoughts have been going, and there's something on the tip of the tongue that you wanted to bring into the light right now. Go, girl.
Oh, I just love how you're supporting other patriots and that you're talking about health, because I've been a health and fitness trainer for a very, very long time, and they are literally poisoning our gut, you guys. They want us, to have what leaky gut. Most of your immune system lives in your gut. If you have leaky gut, that means your immune system is compromised as well. So I love that you're supporting that, and definitely Mike Lindell, he's fantastic.
Yeah, come on, right? All right. So health, we got to take our health back to take on this fight. So you have helped us today, Michelle, to begin to see the pattern from these fires in Maui and Malibu, the extreme weather patterns like the one in North Carolina. These are not random events. They are attacks on our way of life. Michelle, what can we, the people, do today to take our power back? When I think of what I could do right here, when General Flynn says local, 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 take your power back right in your home, start right there, then reach out your community.
Yeah.
What I know is those smart meters on my home, I know that those have been one of the devices that can be attacked like that, and your home can go up in flames. So I had my smart meters taken off. Is that one of the ways we can take our power back? And what are some of the other ways?
Yes, absolutely. Well, you have to understand the smart meter is like a computer pulsating all the time. So in my presentations that I do with my PowerPoint, I actually show the melted smart meters in Maui, melted smart meters in LA. They're all over, and the utility companies have taken down hundreds of thousands of these because of fires, because they've actually caused fires in different areas. And there was one in LA where the smart meter actually caught fire. The fire department was called. The electric company came in, took down the smart meter, like took it off prior to everybody leaving. So they were like, oh, let me just go take this off over here. So definitely that's one thing that you want to do. The other thing, again, is to check your general plan. Rosa Corey, who used to be the California branch chief manager for 30 years and was an eminent domain expert, commercial real estate expert as well. She actually accidentally found Agenda 21 and how it's going to inventory people's private property. It's going to take away inventory people. So many things. She started going throughout the country to county council meetings, telling people it's coming through our general plan. So you guys look at your general plan, just put in your city or your county, go general plan afterwards, look at the PDF, go to find, go to edit, and just put in stakeholder. Is stakeholder written in my general plan? Is clustered housing written in my general plan? Is acquire or acquisition written in my general plan? Is collaborate with government and other nonprofit, for-profit agencies written in my general plan? And then start to go to your county council meetings, because you were right when you said first it's your house and then it's your county. You have to go local. You have to go local and see what's happening, and then just start standing up and speaking out. And the reason why I also wrote this book is because it has Who Owns America, the truth about carbon, smart cities, and there was one other thing is climate change revealed. So it helps people, normies, who are going, okay, I know something's off, but I don't know what it is. It helps them understand the whole picture.
So good, so good. So the work you're doing has empowered us to ask the questions that often will go against the narrative. So Michelle, what's your message to the listeners who are really just feeling overwhelmed right now by these revelations? And how can they take their power back in addition to the things that you just brought to light?
Thank you for that. It's trusting in your inner guidance, because this is a spiritual war. These are demons. And you guys, this goes back. This is ancient. This war is ancient. And we do have a connection with the infinite creator, with God. And our goal, and this is why they want us poisoned with air, water, food, is because when we are clean and our bodies are clean and our pineal gland is not calcified with all the fluoride in the water, we actually have a very strong intuition. We're being guided. We're always being told what to do. That is not an accident. This is why we're here. So Kim, this is something inspired you to do your show, and you followed that. And we call it in Hawaii, we call it your kuleana. What is yours to do? So that's it. Creating a relationship and a continued strong relationship with your infinite creator, whatever you want to call God, and then start to trust it and keep going. But you want to be in aloha. You want to be in love and in kindness. They want us to be angry. They want us to be separated, and they want us to be afraid. Those three things feed the beast. Those three things feed these demons: anger, fear, and hatred. They feed it.
Wow.
So don't do it. Go to aloha. Go to love in your heart for yourself, for your family, and then for your community. Be kind to each other and start to create a higher relationship with your higher power, and trust your heart.
Yes.
You're being guided.
Yes. Come on, Michelle. That is so, so, so good. Patriots, this is our wake up call. Get Michelle's book, Great Maui Land Grab book.com. Start asking the questions in your community. Get involved. Stand up and speak up today. Michelle, you are such a blessing. So grateful that we got to have you here today. And I have a feeling that we could probably take another couple of hours to go deep into the book. So we're going to have you back again. But guys, most importantly, you've got to get this book today. Great Maui Land Grab book.com. I got mine. And Michelle signed it, and I'm so excited. I have her signature. So I'm in the middle of reading this book right now. And this is so I can take my power back, and you all get to take your power back too. Michelle Melendez, thank you so much for being with us. And shall I say mahalo?
Mahalo. Mahalo nui loa. Thank you very much for having me. And aloha to you, Kim, and aloha to everyone.
God bless you, sister. Guys, what an amazing show today. Listen, we don't just bring you the fluff. We bring you the real deal. The truth is your power. Read Great Maui Land Grab, question everything, and build strong communities. We can stop this agenda if we work together. Now, we know the Bible's so clear about what will happen in the end, but by golly, we're not done yet. We still have work to do. So if we're going to bring his kingdom on this earth as it is in heaven, then we've got to be educated and we've got to be prepared. And we've got to draw close to God, who'll give us that wisdom, that discernment, and that hedge of protection. Well, that's a wrap for today's Take Your Power Back show. A huge mahalo to Michelle Melendez for joining us and exposing the truth behind the Maui fires, the LA Malibu fires, and the North Carolina dam failures. The question is, are these part of a deep state plot to control our land and our lives? It's up to us to connect the dots. And I'm telling you, the dots are right there. It's time to fight back. You've heard it said by our great president, fight, fight, fight. Thank you, President Trump. It's time for all of us to fight right now. I want you to visit Michelle's website for her books, and Dieting Hell and Great Maui Land Grab book.com. Follow her for more truth. Now, don't forget, support our sponsors. My Pillow Mike Lindell, PatriotSpyingAmerican.com, PatriotTVBeef.com, because every purchase you make fuels the fight for freedom and gives us the ability to take our power back from BlackRock, Vanguard, and the big box retailers. Join us next week for another episode to empower you, to awaken you, and help you, my freedom-loving patriots, take your power back. Follow us on Rumble at TakeYourPowerBackShow.com, Take Your Power Back Show, on X at Real Kim Yeater, on Facebook at Kimberly Yeater and Take Your Power Back Show, and on all podcast platforms. You can go to TakeYourPowerBackShow.com to access those platforms, to donate, and to become one of our sponsors. And remember, you are the one that's keeping freedom alive. Until then, stay vigilant, stay strong, and by golly, keep the faith, patriots. May God bless you abundantly as we together take our power back. I just love you guys. God bless you, and God bless the incredible USA of America. Oh, and 4th of July. 4th of July is right here. So we're going to close out, guys, with our close. But remember, stay safe this 4th of July. And remember, the freedom that you come from comes from our God and our Creator first. God bless you.
Thank you for joining us for the Take Your Power Back show. As Peak Performance Breakthrough Coach Kim Yeater speaks to other freedom-loving Americans that are making a positive impact in the world by standing in truth amid adversity. Listen in weekly and learn how to take your power back in your freedom, in your personal and professional life, in technology and creativity, and in your faith. Be encouraged, be inspired, be transformed as you step into your power and take action in your leadership and allow your voice to be heard. Together, let's take your power back. To sponsor and support the Take Your Power Back show, go to takeyourpowerbackshow.com. That's takeyourpowerbackshow.com and take your power back.